Hello, audience. Welcome back to Plan 98. My name is Dawson. His name is Justin.
Hello.
And this is another Spider-Man review for our Watch Every Spider-Man Movie Before Homecoming. This one being The Amazing Spider-Man, starring Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. Sorry if I mispronounce this. Rhys Ifans as the Lizard, and so many more. This movie is about Peter Parker is bitten by a genetically altered spider. He gains newfound spider-like powers and ventures out to solve the mystery of his parents' mysterious death. So, this is the reboot after the first Sam Raimi trilogy. This was rebooted a few years later, and this is what we got for two movies. This was supposed to be, another trilogy, but we only got two movies out of it. But for the first one, Justin, what did you think?
Going into it, I wasn't quite sure how I'd feel about Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man because I wasn't like he was 30 playing Spider-Man who was like 17 or something like that.
I think he got the role when he was really 28, 29.
Yeah, so it was
and
man.
And he finished at 31.
Yeah, it was a man who has no real reason to be playing a high school student still. Playing a high school student.
He still looks like a high school student. I mean, he has a baby face.
I mean, yes, he looks like a movie high school student, not an actual high school student. But yeah,
sure.
But after watching it, he did a pretty good job as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I still think he's a little too hot to be Peter Parker because I think he should be more of an average-looking guy, not let's just have sex right now because you're a goddamn gorgeous man person.
Man person.
I
love man purse.
Anyways, but other than that, he was fine. He was a really good Spider-Man. He did that part of his role real well. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy was really good. Like a lot of people say, it's like a perfect casting. I think it was pretty damn good. I just think she's a cool person.
A cool person.
A cool person.
That you'd like to marry.
But that's a topic for another day. And then Rhys Ifans, whatever his name is, as Lizard. He was okay. I thought the Lizard could have looked better. Mostly in the face. The face looked weird.
You think it looked too human in the face?
Kinda, I guess. I don't know. It just looked weird. Like the mouth line was just all across his face, and it just all looked weird.
Yeah.
It just all looked weird. It didn't remind me of a lizard face. It just looked kind of reminded me a little bit of Killer Croc from Suicide Squad, where it's just a scaly human face.
Okay.
But besides that, he was fine. It was a cool choice seeing him instead of a villain that was in the first trilogy. They mentioned Harry Osborn, but they also mentioned that Norman. That's right. They also mentioned then that he was sick and ill and probably dying. So it was so this is us officially saying we're not using him. So yeah, he was a fine substitute as a villain.
You'll see in the second one what happens.
Okay. Good to know. Going through the movie in my head, this movie was completely different basically from the first trilogy, in the way that Peter Parker acted, and the way that he was
more cocky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking watching the whole movie. Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker.
He was very submissive.
Yeah, he was the nerd kid. He was okay, just don't hurt me. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. I'm just gonna be by myself and just stick to myself. But Andrew Garfield
tried to stick up for the even littler guy.
Yeah.
But it still got his ass kicked.
And then when he actually started using his powers, which he uses his powers a lot more as Peter Parker than Tobey Maguire's did.
A lot more in
public. Yeah, that's what I meant. When he was the whole basketball scene with Flash, that was 100% using his powers.
Yeah, but it was not in an obvious thing. He wasn't climbing walls.
Yeah.
So it wasn't for all they knew, he just had really good grip.
I mean, nobody's hands can grip a basketball.
Obviously, that's why they're just what the hell's wrong with this kid?
Yeah.
You're a peak Parker. You're a freak Parker.
Yeah. So he definitely was more open about his powers, not like blatantly saying like, "Yeah, I can do this shit," but like be like, "Yeah, I'm doing this shit in front of your face."
Yeah.
And then when it came to him interacting with Gwen Stacy, and like Peter Parker in the first trilogy was like, "Yeah, I can't tell you who I am. I can't tell you why I can't be with you, but I just can't." But
Yeah, it took him 1.5 movies.
yeah, but this one it was like, "Oop, web on your back. Let's start making out."
Yeah.
Which
I like.
Yeah.
I like more than the whole, I'm going to try to hide this from you.
Yeah, and in this one...
And it opened up more interactions between them. So it wasn't this whole, like, Gwen Stacy having a crush on Peter Parker and then being saved by Spider-Man and also having a crush on him.
Mm-hmm.
She knows it's one and the same person.
Yeah. And also felt really good in this movie that she was not a damsel in distress.
No, she actually helped. She actually created the formula that saved the day.
Yeah, she synthesized the antidote. And so that was better to see than, I'm dangling in the air in the first movie, and then I'm also in trouble in the second movie, and I'm back dangling in the air in the third movie.
Yeah.
So it's better, it's cooler to see, like, her actually, like, do a little bit for herself, like, 'cause she actually, like, tried to kick some ass, too, with smashing the trophy on the Lizard.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you can also make that argument for Mary Jane, because she threw that cinder block. But both attempts weren't really successful, but at least in Gwen Stacy's case, she actually ran into the fight, and she wasn't just a part of it in the beginning.
Sure.
But overall, this movie I think I might have enjoyed more than the first trilogy, just because, I don't know, maybe it's newer and it just clicked with me better. But it was really good.
Plus, you have the hots for both lead characters.
I mean, yeah. Not claiming to be bisexual or gay, but Andrew Garfield is a hunk.
Is a hunk of man love.
What are you thinking?
I really like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man and as Peter Parker.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of people that have the same mindset as you. Though he's a fine Peter Parker, he doesn't have the look
Yeah.
that a lot of people were looking for. For me, I think he looks just fine. I never had a problem with him as Peter Parker.
Uh-huh.
I never thought that he was too good looking to be Spider-Man or to be Peter Parker. I think that kind of adds to his whole that whole like good looking shy guy persona
Mm-hmm.
that they kind of went with this one. That he was kind of good looking. No one really hated him except for like Flash and like some of the like jocks. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just fine with him.
Yeah, he was just that kid who doesn't really get in anybody's way, but he's just there, but he's a nice person.
But in the Sam Raimi universe, everyone was laughing at him. Everyone making fun. Like no one.
Yeah, I think that was
really-
also basically a difference in like 10 years. Just about it feels like it changed like the perspective of like, oh, this kid's the nerd. Let's all make fun of him all together at once.
Sure.
To this time, it's like, oh, he's the shy kid, but he's not really hurting anybody. So
I mean,
make fun of them.
there was a group team up of the kids when Flash was dunking the kid's face on his tray.
Yeah,
when Pete came.
I guess that is still that. Oh, the scrawny nerd kid. Let's beat him up. But I guess.
But no one really did that to Pete.
Yeah.
But again, Pete only got beat up like once or twice, and then the rest of the time, he was the one beating people up. There's a lot of really strong, powerful moments in this movie, and a lot of really smart moments in this movie. When it comes down to the way the Lizard looks, I've actually watched a lot of behind the scenes and the way they designed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually understand why they designed him the way he did.
I probably would. I'd probably come around to it at least a little bit. If I did
that whole thing right there with the mouth.
Uh-huh.
Many lizards have that.
I guess. That's
and
true.
what it is it's a longer thing, but when that opens up, there's a skin flap inside, so they can extend their mouth up. They can basically make their mouth bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know that lizard from like Jurassic Park that had like the frill?
Yeah.
It also had that thing.
That's true.
And I liked it. It's almost like seeing Mark Ruffalo's face on the Hulk.
Uh-huh.
I like that you could see this guy's face, Reese, whatever his name is, Reese Ifans, inside the lizard's face. I like that you could actually tell that that Kurt Connors turned into the Lizard,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like this. I like that. Since it is lizard DNA mixed with human DNA, they're supposed to be both.
Yeah.
You just have to tell that they're both one. They're both in the same. They're both the same body, basically. And I like that. I like the way he looked for the most part. I mean, there are some scenes in the movie that could be touched up a little bit more on him. When it came down to Sally Field as Aunt May, I really like her. She's an Academy Award-winning actress.
She definitely looked the part of Aunt May more than the first woman.
Sure.
Because the first one was like
Rose
60s, this like maybe even 70s almost, but this woman was like 50s, and that makes more sense with Peter Parker's age.
Sure.
Because that would make like her considering her, and I'm guessing it's her sister is Peter's mom, or what's the relationship?
Their son.
Okay, so that's
is not Richard Parker. What's his name?
it was Richard.
It was Richard?
I think it was.
Okay.
They would probably
I
be close.
believe.
Yeah.
That's one thing I even told you a little bit, like, when we were watching the first series.
Mhm.
I know a lot about Spider-Man, but I have no idea, like, fully who Richard, or which one of his parents is, but I believe it's their dad.
Uh-huh.
That's their son.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense because
Ben said you look a lot like your dad.
yeah.
So that means that they'd have to, like, know what he looked like when he was younger.
Yeah.
Besides, like, pictures, like, being around him more. So I believe it's his dad.
But just by like age, thinking of age, like Aunt May and whoever her sibling is between the two of them, or even maybe Ben, I don't fucking know. They'd be similar in age, so that would make them around 50s and not 70s. That's just the one qualm I had about the first one.
Did I say their son? I did say their son.
Yeah.
I didn't mean son.
Their brother slash sister slash whoever.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I believe it's Uncle Ben's brother.
It could be. I don't know.
No, that'd be more sense because it can't be Aunt May because Aunt May was married in.
That's true.
So that means that her maiden name is something different.
Yeah.
But Ben Parker and Richard Parker, I mean, they're brothers.
Yeah. So we spent way too long on this one topic.
We're figuring stuff out
Yeah.
together, which I should know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, absolutely adore her. She's really good. She has a lot more cool things in the second one, but she is cool in this one. I like I was talking about some of the smart, cool stuff. I like seeing Pete create his web shooters because in the first Sam Raimi trilogy, they designed web shooters. They were going to put them in the movie, but then they decided they were going to go organic with it, just so that there wasn't any mess up. So they didn't want to have the whole thing of him running out of webs.
Yeah.
They wanted him to just make them organically. But then in the second movie, he ran out of webs because his web stopped working.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But he did organically, which is fine, whatever. But I do like the web shooters more because it creates this whole. Pete's still a genius. Pete can create stuff. He is very smart. He's a scientist, and he can create this mechanical thing. He can create a synthetic web that he can shoot that has really strong dexterity that will dissolve after a certain amount of time. Like that shows his smarts.
Yeah.
So I like that. A lot of really cool things is when he's first testing out his powers. One thing I would have never thought to do is when he's typing, his finger gets stuck on the keyboard on the keys, and he pulls them up. That's so smart. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny to see all the keys stuck to his fingers.
It's like even though this is a Sony movie, it still has some of that Marvel humor.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things that you're just like, that is smart. That's a smart thing to do. Pete is very witty in this movie. He has a lot of really good jokes. He has a lot of really good one-liners.
Like the knife.
Yeah. Oh, you found my weakness. Small knives. And just when he's like, he throws the trophy out the window. I'm going to throw it out the window now. He just throws it out the window and even like the small stuff when the kid is stuck in the car, which is one of my favorite scenes, and he throws the mask down and tells him to climb up, and then he's like, "All right, climb a little bit faster, please."
Do me a favor and climb faster.
Yeah. I also love Ben Parker in this movie. I think this is my favorite Uncle Ben out of the two. I grew up with the first one, of course, but I like this one more. He's funnier. You can tell that, you know, Pete is a very shy guy, so he doesn't really say exactly what's on his mind all the time. He doesn't really get to use that comedic stuff. But when he puts the mask on, he has that little shield that he can actually be like more witty or more funny.
Mm-hmm. One thing I actually liked about his rendition of Peter Parker is like he stumbled over his words a lot.
Yeah,
and like that's something like a lot of movies, like the actors will just like say the lines perfectly, and there'll be like no mess ups unless like it's like one tiny bump here or there. But this, like, that's his thing, is like he has a hard time speaking, which is probably quite relatable to a large part of the audience.
I mean, you too.
Yeah.
All right, so we got interrupted. But what I was saying was, you know, Justin stutters. That's one of the things he does.
From time to time.
And Titanic.
I don't know why that happened. To this day, I think my brain just exploded just a tad bit.
But, you know, it's one of those things that's good. To have a nerdy guy have a stutter, or a kind of shy guy. I mean, if you have ever watched Big Bang Theory, Leonard Hofstadter has a stutter.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, when he's trying to talk. And it's just one of those things he does. And it's part of his character now. And it adds to it. It adds this like nerdy quality, this kind of shy quality, this not indecisive, but this I don't know, not confident in what he's trying to say kind of quality.
I can get it.
Yeah, you're not very confident in what you're trying to say.
Definitely.
But yeah, he was a perfect. I can't say perfect, but he was a really good Peter Parker and a really good Spider-Man. I mean, he had so many good witty things. One thing I love about this movie, I think this is why I enjoy this actual Spider-Man better, like his performance of Spider-Man, is he did way more acrobatics.
Yeah.
He did way more jumps, way more. He was faster.
Like when he was
doing stuff, he was so much faster, like flying around, like doing stuff, like just crawling.
Mm-hmm.
He crawled more like a spider.
Like when he was testing his powers for the first time, like the web shooters, he did a handstand on top of a building and just flipped backwards off.
Yeah.
And just free fell for a second, which that was a really cool scene.
He just acted more like a spider. He acted more acrobatic,
mm-hmm.
and I like that. I love the scene in the school when the lizard comes and attacks, and then we see them fighting through the lockers, through the hallways, hitting lockers, you know, seeing the whole Stan Lee scene, his cameo, which is my favorite Marvel cameo scene, favorite Stan Lee cameo scene.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing him, there's a scene where he starts coating him in a thick layer web, and he's like crawling around the lizard, trying to like spray him around and trying to keep him while he throws Gwen Stacy out the window.
Yeah.
And he's like crawling on him. He's not like spinning around him. He's actually crawling like a spider on him,
mm-hmm.
like spinning webs around him. And I thought that was really cool. I just like that he was way more spider-like.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Of course, you have Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy, and his death scene is good. You know, his whole thing, trying to keep. He acted as the J. Jonah Jameson of this movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's a menace. He needs to be stopped. He can't do what the police does. Kind of thing, and it just so happens that his daughter is also the girlfriend of Peter Parker / Spider-Man,
mm-hmm.
and she knows that. She knows, he's Spider-Man. She knows that his father or her father is not the biggest fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks he's a menace and thinks that he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. But at the end, a really cool scene when he's unmasked by Captain Stacy, and he does this whole fight scene, fighting all the SWAT, and then Captain Stacy realizing who he is and just like, your daughter's up there. I'm the only one that can save her. You need to let me go. You need to trust me. And at the end, he's like, I was wrong about you, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong about Spider-Man. I was wrong about you.
Wrong about you, but stay for my daughter.
Because he knows. He knows how it is.
Yeah.
He knows how it is being a cop. If you make enemies and they know who you are, people around you are in trouble. So that's a thing that I agree with. That I don't agree. That I can't just say I agree with, but I understand his. now I'm stuttering. Part of his character is that having enemies and the enemies knowing who you are is really hard. It's really hard to keep the people that you love safe. And of course, the Lizard knew who he was. The Lizard knew he was Peter Parker. He left his camera in the sewer, you know. Which
was a real, like, leaving your camera in the sewer, not a bad mistake. Maybe having your name on your camera that you leave in the sewer is real dumb.
I mean, it's his camera. He wrote his name on it just in case it gets flushed. And just so happens that he was flushed away. He can't help he was flushed away.
I mean, but you can't... When you have to do something like that, you can't assume that you're not going to be sent away from your camera at some point.
I don't know. I honestly don't know why he was trying to get photos.
It's because something on the Daily Bugle said, like, looking for photos of the Lizard.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get a job. But he never gets a job for the Daily Bugle.
Because he lost his pictures.
Yeah, well, he lost... I mean, in the second movie, he never gets a job at the Daily Bugle. Because J. Jonah Jameson's never in it.
Yeah.
In this series. Though it's hinted at, not J. Jonah Jameson himself, but the Daily Bugle. I mean,
they had
a newspaper with Daily Bugle on it. But I think his name is Martin Sheen. Very famous actor. He's done a lot of stuff over many, many years. He played Uncle Ben in this movie. And like I said, I really liked him. I love the whole scene when Peter, does the whole thing with Flash, breaks the what's it called? Basketball rim?
Oh, the basketball hoop.
The hoop.
The hoop.
The rim, not the rim. The
backboard. Yeah.
He breaks that. He shatters it, and Uncle Ben comes in and he says, they figure all out. He has to do like community service and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see Gwen Stacy, and he's like, "Is that the girl on your computer?" She's like, "He has you on your computer," and he's like, and Pete's like trying to shut him up. He's like, I'm his
probation officer.
I'm his probation officer. He's just like, bye. And he just walks away, and I busted out laughing hearing him say, I'm his probation officer. And then Pete's just like, that's my uncle. He's a character. I just love that part. And I as a kid growing up, I lived by with great power comes great responsibility. It was one of those quotes that I loved. And hearing the rendition of it in this movie,
yeah.
He said, I don't want to I want to paraphrase it, but I don't want to get it wrong. He basically is Ben quoted his father, or Peter's father, saying that if you could help someone, you had an obligation to do it.
Yeah,
it was a responsibility. And I like that rendition of with great power, because obviously when it comes down to it, the whole with great power comes great responsibility thing doesn't really make much sense because Pete doesn't really have any much power.
Yeah.
And Ben doesn't know that. But he does have the power
to help people.
Mm-hmm. But not in the whole, as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But as Peter. Because of course Ben doesn't know he's Peter, but he's a Spider-Man. So I like that rendition.
One thing I want to ask real quick. At the end of the movie, does Aunt May know that he's Spider-Man? Because she doesn't ask any questions when it comes in completely beat up. Okay.
Yes, she has. I believe in the second one she knows more, but I'm pretty sure she has a very good. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But I've only seen Amazing Spider-Man 2 once.
Okay, so we'll definitely get around to that.
But I believe yes, she does.
Okay.
She does have more of a you're getting beat up way too much. But I do like that rendition. I do like the way they handled the scene with his death. I felt like this one had more of a depressing feel to it after he died.
Yeah.
Because the first one, it's just like, of course, you have the scene where Aunt May's crying in the first Sam Raimi movie. Pete's crying. Of course, it's like a huge thing. He's like, he gets there. Uncle Ben wakes up, says Pete, whatever, and he dies. It was sad, but it was over pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they kind of moved on quick. In this movie, it felt like it was always shadowing over the characters.
Like his whole, of course, in the first movie too, or the first trilogy, their whole reason of fighting crime is to find the person who killed his uncle.
And same one, this one.
Yeah.
So that's why he started. Was trying to find the killer of his uncle.
But this
one, he let go.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But in a different way.
This one, because even though he knew the guy just robbed the cash register, he was like, it's not that much money. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And he didn't know the guy had a weapon. Like in the first trilogy, he saw the gun.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man saw the gun, but
Andrew Garfield.
yeah, Andrew Garfield didn't.
Yeah.
So he couldn't quite tell.
He never saw the gun.
Yeah.
I mean, the gun was picked up, shot, and the guy ran away before he could actually see the guy's face. But then he had the drawings. Plus, he saw him a little bit in the gas station.
Yeah.
But he finally did track him down. I like all the scenes with Flash. I love that scene on the basketball court, and I also love the scene when Uncle Ben just dies and Pete just came back to school, and Flash comes up to him and just like he's like, "Hey Parker," and he comes up and taps him on the shoulder, and Pete just grabs him and shoves him against the locker. He's just sitting there. He has his head down. He's not looking at him. He has his head down, just holding him. And Flash is like, "It feels good, doesn't it?" He's like, "Your uncle just died." And he slides him down. He just gets his stuff and walks away. And I like that. I like the whole thing of he wasn't like look at me now. It's just like not
just
now.
don't fuck with me.
Not now. There's just a lot of really good moments in the movie. I really, really enjoy Mark Webb. Mark Webb's
If that's not the perfect name, I'll never know what it is.
first Spider-Man movie.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy it. I know it's not for everyone. I really do. I know it's not for everyone. A lot of people love Tobey Maguire. So do I. But I really enjoy Andy Garfield. And I enjoy this movie. With its flaws. And I'm one of the only people apparently that like the suit. I really like the suit. I don't like the sunglasses, but I like the suit. Because I miss the white.
Yeah.
Which they completely changed and made one of the best suits in the second movie. They made the best suit Spider-Man has had in the second movie in a bad movie. In a bad-ish movie. We'll get to that review.
I think the suit was okay.
I like it. I think the only thing I don't like about it is when it comes down to him being as agile as he is, it seems a little bit constricting visual-wise. 'Cause it looks a lot more leathery than, say, Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's second costume, which is literally like pulled out of the comic books. Or even like the upcoming Tom Holland's costume. This one, though I think it looks really good, it looks a lot more leathery, which thus makes it look more restricting. But I like it. I really do. I don't like the goggles, like I said, or the goggles, the eyes, the sunglass pieces, but everything else I really like. It was my wallpaper on my computer for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
on to ratings and reviews. Or recommendations, rather?
We're never going to get that right.
Nope.
Ratings and
Because ratings and reviews flow so much better.
Ratings, let's get on to it. Justin, what do you think about The Amazing Spider-Man?
I actually really enjoyed this movie, so I think it's actually worth an 8.
Okay.
What do you give it?
I give The Amazing Spider-Man an 8.5.
Cool.
I really
And
enjoyed
would
it.
you recommend?
Yeah.
I do too. Check it out. And if you don't like it, then give it a rewatch, because it has some good qualities to it.
At least for us.
Any final thoughts?
I'm not looking forward to the second one because I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
I'm so sad.
So with that, guys, let us know down below, what did you think of The Amazing Spider-Man? Until next time, we'll see you later.
Thwip.